Now the third one. The third one is actually a little bit more interesting because the third principle is define what makes you worth it. So just say in this whole industry of people selling educational toys, what makes you unique? What makes you stand out that people would say, I would like to buy this product from you versus another person in the same industry? So when we talk about that, we talk about wanting to be more unique in the eyes of the people who want to buy a product. So how do we become more unique? So you have to tell a story too. So in your website, one of the key things that we realize is people like to know why you started your business. People like to know why you put your heart and soul into running this business or offering this solution to others. For instance, you could be a parent who was once looking for good quality toys for your own children and you couldn't find any. And you realize that, okay, if you feel that there's a need for it, you probably wanted to start a business or you already started this business offering these toys because you had a need yourself. So this why is very compelling. So it means that people, when they come to your website, they're just not buying your products, they're reading your story. And in today's world, that story is the one that will persuade a person to buy from you versus another. So make sure that your story is compelling. And to make sure the story is compelling, you must really dig deep into yourself and ask yourself, why did you start a business? What prompted you to provide this service or the product or the solution that you're providing right now? So the more real you can make it for your target audience and the more compelling you can make it for them, they would definitely want to buy from you because you're unique and you have given them a reason beyond just providing them a service or a product. You've given them a full-on reason why they should be supporting you in your business. So this is why having a good story is perhaps the hardest thing to do in a website, because a lot of websites are very impersonal. A lot of websites are more like, I'll tell you the facts, I'll give you information, But what really helps to sell and what really helps to persuade on a website is actually the story of the founders, of the business, of how it got started. And people are really attracted to good stories that really, really move the heart. So if you're starting a website, think of your own story. Why did you start the business? How did it get started? So all this becomes your story. And this is the story that makes you completely unique and makes you completely different from other people. And it's just about you telling a story. For instance, we had this client who was a doctor, and like all doctors, he provides services to his patients. But beyond that, what was his story? So the story of his doctor was that besides being a doctor, he was also a father. He's also someone who likes to dance. He likes to salsa. So that gives him a different kind of personality already. Then you start to imagine, oh, this doctor is actually quite fun. Besides that, what does he do in his spare time? He volunteers and he gives free medical services to the people in his community who need it. That's another part of his story. On top of that, when we talked to him, we realized that he comes from a family of doctors. His father was a doctor, and now he's a doctor. So he really comes from a family who believes in helping people medically. So when you put all these stories together, you get a more complete picture about the doctor. So it's not just another doctor, okay? Another person who's just a doctor. But this is a doctor who's pretty unique because he likes to salsa, he comes from a family of doctors, in his spare time he likes to help people. So all these things build up a better picture. So when people come to his website and they read about his doctor, immediately they feel a connection like, hey, I like to salsa too, I like to dance, or I like to help people. So when you have stories like this, these are the stories that need to be put on your website. And when you put these stories on your website, you can bet for sure that the people who come to your website will feel very much connected to you. They feel like they know you. So for our client, whenever he meets his patients, they feel that they already know him because they read so much about him online. They read so much about him on his own website, and he gives people pictures of himself, gives pictures more and more, give people all the details about himself, that it makes it very real. So even before the person steps into his clinic, they already know him as a human being. And in today's world, I think even even beyond all the social media and all. We feel that we know others through social media, but actually we don't. So what we need to do is, in our websites, we need to have a very, very interesting, very strong story about who we are as the founder of the business, as the owner, the entrepreneur, so that people would actually want to be with us, to buy from us, and to support our business.